right here. But look, Tony has quickly called him with an ace high also.
What the heck is this? He's calling with an ace four. This must be frustration from the last hand.
He's got about 90,000 in chips. Alan lays up ace five. Tony has ace four, and look at Tony. He's not a happy camper right now.
Tony's just, look at this. He looks sick about this.
Well, it's not as bad as it looks, because many times this will be a split pot. Let's see what happens.
Tony obviously going on tilt, though, just to make this. Here comes the flop.
Flop comes queen 9-3, no help to either player.
That's right, so far neither player has any help. They both have ace high at this point.
Now the board pairs nines. Now it looks like Alan has a big favorite hand over here. In fact, he can only catch a deuce or a five to win this pot. Otherwise we'll have a split pot.
Okay, you called it, Mike. It is going to be a split pot. You play your best 5 cards. Both players will use that ace and not the second card. So they basically had a pair of nines, ace, queen, jack to complete their hand. That would be a split pot.
Correct.
Look at Tony G. He is looking down. You know, I like this guy. I mean, you see all these emotions.
Here he goes. He's all in. He is not slowing down. He's picked up an ace-3 offsuit. He's moved all his chips all in. Chris folds a 10-deuce offsuit.
Now, Claude Cohen's got a 10-9 offsuit. Claude's taking his time with his 10-9 offsuit.
Well, he's not going to call a guy with 2 players behind him with a 10-9. I can't imagine him doing that. I can see you betting that hand, but you're not going to call with it.
Well, maybe they're sensing this Tony G is on tilt. Maybe Tony G can get away with this and make a bluff out of this.
And Claude does fold.
But wait a second. Look at Jacques Durand. He's picked up big slick ace-king.
Uh-oh, this is bad news for Tony. Tony's going back down under here maybe after this hand.
He's going to call the all-in bet.
This is ace-king versus ace-3. Tony gets up and walks away from the table. It's ace-3 versus ace-king here. Tony does not like it. You have to feel a little pain for this guy, Vince. No doubt about it.
Well, he's been playing great all afternoon. Well, he still can get lucky.
He's going to have to get very lucky to win this pot. Let's see if he does it.
Here comes the flop.
Comes queen, jack, deuce. No help at all. Tony G is going to have to catch a 3 or a 4 and a 5 to make a straight to stay alive in this tournament.
He needs a miracle card. Can he get it? Not yet. It's not.
6 comes off. If Tony G does not catch a 3, he'll be our 5th place finisher.
Oh, so close.
And it's a 4. He is out. The guy that was rambling and gambling and talking and chirping has gone down. He is our 5th place finisher. He is going to take home 17,000 euros.
A true character of the poker world. Tony G from Australia. Deflated at this point, but what an entertainer. What an interesting man.
And I'll tell you, the guy's only been playing poker for 3 years, Vince, and he showed me a lot today when it comes to playing the game.
Absolutely. We're going to take a little break. We are at the Aviation Club in Paris. We're on the World Poker Tour. We're coming back. Join us.
The night began in Paris with 6 at the final table, but now only 4 players remain in the Euro Finals of Poker. The motormouth Australian Tony G just ran out of gas, leaving 1 American, 1 Swede, and 2 Frenchmen to fight over the title of the best poker player on the continent.
It's going to be an exciting finish to see who takes home this title.
Absolutely, Mike. And don't forget, four-handed, you got to play a little looser, a little more aggressive. You can't wait for the perfect hands.
Action's on Allen. He had 9-4 offsuit and folds.
Chris Johansson's looking at his cards. He's got a real hand. He's got a pair of 5s wired, Mike.
And he's going to raise.
Chris says raise.
He's on the button. That means he's in the best possible position to raise. He does so.
Looks like about
he gets to act last every time after the flop if they call this raise.
Now, don't forget, look at Claude Cohen. He's got king 5 of hearts, and he's taking his time with this. Look at him checking out Chris's stack.
31.
Well, remember at poker, you always have 3 options. You can fold, you can call, you can raise, and Claude is contemplating all 3 of those right now.
Claude likes to take a lot of time. Look at him. He's even looking at his shoes right now, it seems like. My God, he just studies the man. Now he's asking him a question. He wants him to talk and smile. See this? Now these are all he's looking for tells.
In first position, I think he should fold this hand, and he does so. Look at Jacques. He said, I'm tappy, all in.
Jacques going all in with it.
Jacques Durand has moved all in with an ace-6 offsuit. What a bold play by the Frenchman here.
Now, this is very interesting, Mike. What the heck is he doing?
Well, he's moving all in. He's going to put Chris to the test. That's what he's doing.
Now, Chris has got a real problem. He's got the pair of fives.
He has put him to the test.
Don't forget, his table image is that he's very strong. When he usually bets, he gets people out.
Now, with these raises and the blinds and antes, there's about 170,000 or so in the pot right now. It's going to cost Chris about 100,000 to call this bet. However, he knows or will assume that his opponent has at least 2 overcards over the fives, which means it's an even money race situation. So I think it's a very, very difficult position for Chris to be in right now.
Well, Jacques Durand is up on his feet. I don't think he thought this was going to take so long. I think he thought Chris was probably trying to make a move. And Jacques is a little disturbed.
You know, every time Chris plays a pot, it seems like everybody walks away from the table. Now look, Chris looks over at him.
What would you do? You got a pair of fives, four-handed.
Well, I'd throw it away. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but you got a lot of chips there. Even if you lose the hand by chance, you still have a lot of chips left.
It's still another 100,000, about 100,000, that if you call and lose this pot, and you could be a 4.5 to 1 underdog in this pot if your opponent has a larger pair than fives. If you come up against the best scenario you could come up with, it's a race situation. He's calling.
He's got to call.
Chris Johansson is going for it. Whoa, what a bold call by Chris. A great raise by the Frenchman, I thought. And we're in a race situation. It's the ace-6 against the 2 fives.
Now, don't forget, Mike, Chris is a little bit of a favorite here with a pair of fives. Let's see if it can hold up.
Well, he opted to call because he still had chips to play with, even if he loses this pot. If he wins it, he'll be a monster chip leader with 3 players left. Let's see what happens. We have ace-6 against the 2 fives.
And don't forget, if Jacques loses this hand, he is out. He is walking with Tony G on the Champs-Élysées. Not broke, but definitely
cold. Good call. The Frenchman says good call. He said, you knew I didn't have that good a hand. Let's see what happens.
Oh, man.
Ace, the first card off for the Frenchman. Wow. Look at Chris. He's solemn right now. He knows he's going to have to catch a 5.
Not yet, he's not.
If he doesn't catch a 5, the Frenchman will double up. And the king comes. Look at the Frenchman, I win.
Oh, man. I win, he says. He's like Pepe Le Pew. They're very happy, very chirpy again.
It's a huge pot, Vince, about $265,000 in chips on the table right there. The Frenchman has made a bold move in this tournament right there. In the meantime, look at Chris.
Incredible. You know that I don't have a good hand, huh?
He said, you knew I didn't have a good hand. Very interesting.
Smart.
Now look at this, a little trash talking by Jacques. Now he wants to talk again. This is the same guy that said he didn't like Tony G talking too much. It's against the rules of the game. See what a couple winning hands can do for you. You kind of change your attitude a little bit.
Well, Chris made a bold play that last time with the 2 fives to call the extra 100,000. The Frenchman got lucky, spiked an ace, won the pot, doubled up. And let's see if that hand will affect Chris at all.
This is a game about control. You have to control your emotions. Now, Chris Johansson's picked up an ace-9 offsuit, and he's going to raise, Mike.
Not 31. Yes.
Well, it hadn't slowed him down. He comes back raising the very next pot.
30,000 raised by Chris.
Comes in for 30,000.
Claude Cohen's got a 5-7 offsuit. He's going to throw it away. Jacques has a 6-7 junk hand. He's going to throw that away.
Now look at Allen. Allen's picked up an ace-queen, a very nice hand. Now, even though he has great respect for Chris, it's hard to believe in a 4-handed game he's going to lay down an ace-queen here.
I'm all in.
And he's not. He's going all in. He has moved over the top of Chris right here for all his chips. A bold play by Alan Cunningham.
Absolutely. He's going all in here. Not going to monkey around.
Now, remember, we realize he has ace-queen and his opponent has ace-9, but he doesn't know it's sitting at the table there, and this is a bold play. Re-raising all your chips with ace-queen in this spot. I like the play. And now Chris is faced with a tremendously tough decision.
Well, you talk about momentum. He just took a bad hit before with a pair of fives, and now he's in this predicament. Now he's going to study Allen. This is a huge decision for him. Look at him looking at Allen, checking him out.
He just doubled up the Frenchman. Does he want to double up the American here, where the American will have the chip lead? a major, major pot, and whoever wins it will be the chip leader.
156,400 is the total.
Don't forget, you lose one of these pots and you're out, you're taking a walk, it's over. You're not going to win a WPT title. There's only 13 a year. A lot of prestige involved here, and €500,000. That's over 600,000 American dollars.
Well, if Chris calls and loses, he won't be out of the tournament. If Alan loses the pot, however, he will be out of the tournament. It seems to me that he's thinking to himself, if I play and win this pot, I'll be right back where I was before. The tough American will be out of the tournament. Do I want to gamble here with this ace-9? A decision like this just ties your stomach in knots, Vince. And look at Chris, you can tell his stomach is gurgling right now.
You see, at this point, Chris is not playing his cards. He's just watching the man. He's playing the man. What does Alan have? He's trying to get inside his head.
I call.
He's going to call. He's going to call.
Whoa, he is going for it. Now let's keep our eyes on their faces, Vince, because I can tell you, Alan's going to be very happy when he turns up the ace-9 offsuit, and Chris, on the other hand, is going to be very dejected when he sees that Alan has ace-queen. He'll know he made a mistake then.
Alan is bad too.
Well, they're both gambling here. Alan doesn't realize what a great position he's in yet.
Well, Alan made a very nice re-raise here. I think this is a very poor, no matter how this hand comes out, I think it's a very poor call by Chris Johansson.
Well, you always think they're making poor decisions. You think they should throw away every hand.
All right, it's ace-queen versus ace-9. Chris is going to have to get very lucky to win this pot. Let's see if he does so.
The flop
comes king 6-3.
Okay, so far,
no help for either player.
Alan Cunningham's in front with his ace-queen.
Now 3 comes off. That's actually a good card for Chris, because if a 6 or a king comes off the board now, he's going to split the pot. It's a jack. Alan Cunningham has doubled up and taken the lead in this tournament, Vince.
Devastating blow for Chris Johansson. Look at him. He's very stoic. You wouldn't know that he just took a huge hit, but he did.
Well, it was a poor play on his part. He got punished for it, and he knows it right now. Now the question is, can he now come back like the 2 Frenchmen have when they've been the low stack? Alan Cunningham is our chip leader.
Four-handed, it's going to be up to Chris Johansson first. He'll take a look at his cards. He was spinning out of control. Look at this. He's picked up another hand. Pair of 8s wired.